that guidance? What do you have to say to those governors?
Well, first of all, on the merits, on the issue itself, we're talking about kids, and anybody who's been in school, been in high school, who's been a parent, I think should realize that kids who are sometimes in the minority, kids who have a different sexual orientation or are transgender are subject to a lot of bullying potentially. They are vulnerable, and I think that it is part of our obligation as a society to make sure that everybody is treated fairly and our kids are all loved and that they're protected and that their dignity is affirmed. And in this particular situation, I won't comment on the lawsuits that are going back and forth between the Justice Department and North Carolina. That's typically not my role. I try to let the Justice Department do its job. But with respect to the Department of Education, schools were asking us, we're asking the Department of Education, how should we handle this? So they sought out some clarification, some guidance. And that's what we did. We said, it is our view that you should try to treat these kids with dignity. Here's how there are school districts who've been wrestling with this problem and have, we think, done a good job in accommodating them in a way that is good for everybody. And so you can learn from these best practices. This is what we are advising. And ultimately, depending on how these other lawsuits go, courts will affirm or reject how we see the issue. But we think it was important for schools who want to go ahead and, in a very practical way, try to deal with the school year. What are they going to be doing next year? How should we approach this? That we give them our best judgment about how to approach it.
One last question. We've got our Facebook Live audience here, YouTube audience. You've obviously seen a lot with the courts and the judiciary in your time in office that has probably changed your views since you were a law professor, since you were doing that. There's been this effort from states, from individuals, from the House to take action against you and go to the courts against your administrative actions. Do you think that this is something that's unique to your presidency? Do you think that this is part of an emerging pattern of how states and others are going to be dealing with the government?
No, I mean, look, there's a long history of this. If you think about we're in the Roosevelt room right now. There's a guy named Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose picture is right over your shoulder, who was dealing with the Great Depression and was trying to initiate a whole range of actions to try to help lift people out of poverty and give them jobs. You had a cantankerous court that was striking down a lot of the rules that he put forward. This is part of the process of our democracy. For the most part, even Bush-appointed judges have upheld what I've done on things like healthcare and on trying to combat climate change and trying to make sure that our justice system is fair. Occasionally they disagree, and that's okay.